Executive actions are, of course, an important lever that every president has at their disposal. No one needs an assault weapon. That is not something that should be a part of what people have access to in this country.
Jen, why did the president wait until there was another shooting until he addressed gun violence in America?
He actually addressed it. We put out a statement in his name on the anniversary of, in early February, the anniversary of the shooting in Florida. So he has addressed it before, and certainly has addressed it even as president, and will continue to address it as president. And as you know, Jeff, from covering him in Congress for a long time, this has been a passion of his, putting in place gun safety measures throughout his career. That's why he fought to get the Brady bill passed, why he fought to ban assault weapons, why he was the lead in the Obama-Biden administration in putting in place more than a dozen executive actions to make it safer for our communities. And it's something that he will continue to work on as president.
Of course, he knows, though, that the president's bully pulpit is unparalleled, and yet it took him until more than 60 days into his presidency to talk about gun violence on camera in America. What does that say about his commitment or how much political capital he's willing to spend on this issue?
Well, I first would say that anybody who has been following the tragedies and the shootings that have happened in our country over the past several years, if not decades, knows that this is an issue the president is deeply committed to, and his career is evidence of that. And I don't think anyone who's an advocate is looking at how many words he's spoken. They're looking at what his background has been, where he has fought the fights, and he has fought the fights on the Brady bill, on the assault weapons ban, on getting legislation passed. It wasn't successful, as was alluded to earlier in a question. We know that. But this is something he's going to put his shoulder into. He's going to work with members of both parties. He's going to certainly advocate for. And I think for those who have survived gun violence, for those who've lost family members, they're really looking for action, and they're really looking at the record that he has over the course of the decades of his career.
Given the history of people trying to enact gun control legislation in this country, is there some consideration to taking a look at the Second Amendment and just addressing it from a sort of the underlying constitutional right to bear arms? Is that something that the president feels needs to be called into question so many years after the revolution?
No one is talking about overturning or changing the Second Amendment. What our focus is on is putting in place common sense measures that will make our community safer, make families safer, make kids safer. The majority of the American public supports background checks. The majority of the American public does not believe that anyone needs to have an assault weapon. So that's really what our focus is on at this point in time.
The president also talked several times about a federal assault weapons ban, and I'm wondering how he plans to build a coalition around that, even when that policy is something that is opposed by many moderate Democrats in Congress.
Well, though it is supported by the majority of the American people, and that is an important fact. He will, it's something that he has long had a view and a belief that no one needs an assault weapon, that it is not something that should be a part of what people have access to in this country. And he will continue to, so it's like, you're asking kind of who will he talk to, or who will he
plan to build a coalition in Congress to build that support?
Well, part of it is certainly communicating with the advocates. It's communicating with outside groups, with gun owners, many of whom will tell you that they don't believe they would support an assault weapons ban. Communicating with leaders in states where laws have been put in place that have been impactful. And obviously having conversations with members he's known for some time, having them at the staff level, and determining if we can find a path forward.
Thank you for watching that video. If you like that, remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe right up here. For other great content, take a look at our recommended video over here and see our playlist right over there. Remember to go to www.dustyfriday.com for great memes, news, videos, and my podcast available on all major platforms. Thanks, and we'll see you on the next one.